What's up, folks? As many of you are aware, most of you, you're in this kind of position all the time. And part of what happens with this position, it's not just that you're in bad posture, it's not just that your muscles are getting really tight, especially here in the front, it's that your skeleton is out of whack, it's out of position. Your shoulders, the bones themselves are literally unscrewed. And this gives a whole host of issues, but the big thing that we're trying to focus on, guys, is performance. If you are a slouch, you are not going to be able to perform anywhere near as well with anything based around breathing, based around shoulder usage and arm usage, head usage, and that could just be like being intellectually engaged for as long as you need to be. So use your imagination with that. You cannot perform well when you're a slouch. Big part of how we measure, do you have good healthy shoulders, is via what we call the hang position. Hang position, it's a weightlifting term. When you're in a certain position, you're in a hang position. So like when I'm lifting a barbell up and I'm passing through the shoulder extension and internal rotation, or if I'm in a dip position, I'm in the hang position. Or getting up out of a pull and passing through that. That's what we call the hang position. Now the fullest iteration of the hang position, typically you see it like this. What we like to do for sort of giving a gold standard of, hey, this kind of shows that we have the most amount of shoulder extension going back, as well as internal rotation that is needed and is anatomically appropriate. Our gold standard is being able to reach your arm back and getting it parallel to the floor, get this, without your rib cage moving. So rib cage is in place. What most people will do, okay, actually what this looks like on most people is bang. They typically get to about 45 degrees and things are just stuck. Things are so gnarly and messed up all over all of this, it's just not moving. What also tends to happen is that people kind of start to lean forward into that. So it's like the angle at the shoulder is the same, but they lean forward and it's like, hey, it's getting higher, isn't it? Now it's parallel to the floor. Doesn't count, sorry. I'm gonna give you guys one very simple drill that works 9 times out of 10 for helping to open up your shoulders more so that you can be a hell of a lot stronger, a hell of a lot faster, throw better punches, lift more weight on the barbell. And also sleep better because all of this is gonna be so much more open. This is super simple and takes 2 minutes of your day. What you're going to do is kind of find out where is it comfortable for me to raise my arm while holding onto something to take the weight. So I want to grab something that I can relax my arm into. So a barbell squat rack works brilliantly because you can either hold it horizontally or vertically, in terms of like your hand would be turned around that way, thumb down, and hold it like that. You find a height, some of you may be down here, some may be up here, some may even get a little bit higher. You do what's comfortable. I'm gonna grab the barbell here, and we are going to do a contract, relax routine, meaning that in this position, I'm trying to activate all of the front and chest musculature. So front of the shoulder, front of the chest. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press down against the barbell. And I want to make sure I'm so rotated that the tension is through, like the front of the deltoid, front of the shoulder, and the pec, all right? So as I do this, I make sure that I rotate my arm inwards, not outwards. So you see how that would take my palm going out? I want my palm more going towards the inside. But in this iteration, it would just look like my elbow and shoulder going that way. Do you see that? Do you understand that? Make sure you play around with it. So I can feel kind of a stretching sensation through the front of the shoulder. All of this is tight, and I want to push down. And I'm gonna hold that for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And of course, as I'm doing this, breathing very deeply, very slowly, and entirely through the nose. And at the end of the 10 seconds, I'm still pushing, but I take a big, deep inhale. And then as I exhale, I relax my shoulder and I try to go a little bit further in the stretch. So in my case, I might go a little bit lower. If your hand started down here, you relax and maybe you try to crawl it up the rack a little bit more. And you're just trying to get deeper into that stretch. So let's say, guys, that I start off here, I go through that contract, I relax. That's why we call it contract relax. It makes sense. It's much better than proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, which is the formal name for that procedure, but screw that. And then once I'm done with that, breathe, try to go a little bit higher, and then you'll do the same thing again from that new range. And typically what people find, 9 times out of 10, I get people to go from being this stiff and tight and feeling like their shoulder is miserably stiff to getting like up to here, like 90% of the way there, and suddenly it's like, oh my lord, my arm feels so light, it feels fluffy, it feels warm. The other one suddenly feels really tight, really heavy, like I can't really use it that well. Then you do it on the other side, balances it out. It is wonderful, super quick and easy. I'd recommend 2 minutes worth on each arm. If you suffer with chronic pain, chronic injuries, athletic injuries, I have got you covered. My name is Ethan Hammond, and I am a strength and rehab specialist. I work with people who want to return to sport and fitness, but feel that they can't because of pain and injuries. I've helped people with conditions such as lower back pain, ACL tears, shin splints, neck pain and chronic headaches, and so many more things. Now, a lot of you will be going through things like this, like what I just listed above, and you're saying that you cannot train anymore. Bullshit. You have got to train, and you've got to train right. Train or complain, that is the way this works. Now, I work in person in Southampton, England, but I have online services as well if you're a bit further out. And I also offer free consultations to get you started with a free game plan and strategy for getting out of pain. All you have to do is to send me a text or a WhatsApp message to 07 305 231 339, and I will personally get back to you in the next 24 hours to get you started on the road to proper recovery. If you are serious about leveling up and making real change, this is how you start.